Think Honduras is just white sand beaches and lazy Caribbean sunsets?
Think again.
Because behind the palm trees and turquoise waters lies a country where reality bends into legend. Fish don't just swim here, they fall from the sky. A bridge towers over a river, yet leads absolutely nowhere. Once upon a time, wives were traded in the marketplace like sacks of grain. And if you so much as brush against the coral reef, that's a $3,000 fine, instantly. This is Honduras, a land as beautiful as it is bizarre. A place where myths live alongside modern life, and every corner hides a story that defies belief. So buckle up, because we're about to uncover 15 shocking, strange, and utterly unbelievable facts that will forever change the way you see this country. Number 15. The country that lost its name. Yes, Honduras once had a name so confusing that even the United Nations got it wrong. After breaking away from the Central American Federation in the 1800s, the country decided to go bold. República de Honduras en Nueva Segovia. It sounded grand and historical until it started causing problems. Foreign diplomats couldn't pronounce it, couldn't remember it, and sometimes didn't even realize it was the same country. In official documents, it showed up as Nueva Honduras, HNS, or worse, not at all. At one UN conference, Honduran delegates had to reintroduce themselves multiple times because the printed name didn't match any existing nation. Eventually, Honduras gave up the extra history lesson and simplified things to what we know today, República de Honduras. Simple, clear, and no more international identity crisis. Number 14. The town where it rains fish. Welcome to Lloro, Honduras, where fish literally fall from the sky. This isn't a myth. Every year, usually between May and July, small freshwater fish appear all over the streets, yards, and gardens right after heavy rains. Locals call it La Lluvia de Peces, the rain of fish. It's happened so consistently that Lloro now hosts a full-blown festival with parades, fried fish, and prayers of thanks. Scientists have a few theories. Some think these fish live in underground rivers and get swept up by flash floods. Others suggest tornadoes suck them from distant waters and drop them in town, despite Lloro being miles from the coast. In 1970, a National Geographic team was present during the phenomenon. They didn't see fish fall, but confirmed the streets were covered in wriggling fish, not native to the area. Whether it's divine intervention or an underground aquatic mystery, one thing's for sure, only in Lloro does the miracle happen every single year. And the people there? They simply gather the fish, fry them up, and give thanks. Number 13. The world's strangest wife-swapping market. In a quiet mountain village tucked away in northwest Honduras, where the rooftops are made of mossy clay and the air smells of roasted corn, marriage isn't always sacred. In fact, here, it's a transaction. Welcome to what might be the strangest custom in Central America, a wife-swapping market. Yes, you heard that right. Men come to the market not just to trade livestock or vegetables, but to exchange wives. Sometimes it's an auction, other times a straightforward swap, like bartering a radio or a sack of rice. In some cases, the women have already been traded multiple times, like vintage collectibles passed from one owner to another. The tradition is believed to trace back to the colonial posta era, when women couldn't legally own property, and swapping wives was considered a way to transfer social and economic value. A 1998 ethnographic study by the National Autonomous University of Honduras found that over a quarter of men in mountain communities admitted to participating in wife swaps at least once. The government, naturally, tried to stop it. In 2007, they passed laws banning the practice outside of official market days held only 3 times a year. They even prohibited parents from giving children bizarre names like Clinton Cartier or Thank God, a nod to the chaos that comes from these unconventional unions. Number 12. The airport that terrifies even pilots. If you're flying into Honduras, Here's a travel tip that might save you a panic attack. Avoid Toncontín International Airport. Located smack in the middle of the capital city, Tegucigalpa, Toncontín is ranked among the most dangerous airports in the world, and for good reason. Surrounded by towering mountains and dense city infrastructure, the approach to this airport requires a sharp 45-degree turn just seconds before touchdown. The runway? Only 7,100 feet long, about half the length of major international runways like those at LAX. And yet, large aircraft like Boeing 757s are still expected to land here. The result? More than a few close calls. In 2008, Ecological Airlines' Airbus A320 overshot the runway and crashed onto a highway just outside the airport. And that wasn't an isolated incident. It's become tradition for passengers to clap upon landing, a mixture of relief, celebration, and pure adrenaline. Even the flight crews breathe easier after a successful descent. If you'd rather skip the thrill ride, try Palmarola International Airport, XPL, just 47 miles away. It's newer, safer, and doesn't require a pilot to be a stunt flyer. But if you do choose Toncontín, buckle up. You're in for the wildest landing of your life. Number 11. 2 men on a motorcycle? That's illegal in many Honduran cities. It might sound like an unusual traffic law, but in cities like Tegucigalpa, San Pedro Sula, and Choloma, 2 men riding the same motorcycle could get you pulled over immediately. And no, it's not about traffic safety or overloaded bikes. It's about preventing murder. Over the past decade, Honduras has faced a serious problem with motorcycle hitmen. The formula is chillingly simple. One man drives, the other pulls the trigger. Fast, efficient, and nearly impossible to catch. To combat this, officials introduced the Dos Hombres en Moto rule, a security law that bans 2 men from riding together in high crime zones. It's especially enforced in Zona Roja, or red zones known for violence. Even tourists can get stopped. 2 male friends on a road trip through a city might be asked for their papers or even fined. Meanwhile, 2 women? No problem. A man on a girlfriend? Totally fine. But 2 guys, even father and son, co-workers or brothers, can raise suspicion. It's one of those rare laws that isn't about who's riding, but about who might be riding with intent. Number 10. The island where men don't argue with women. Hidden on the Caribbean coast of Honduras, among the rhythm of drums and ocean breeze, lies a world where women quietly run the show. Welcome to the Garifuna communities, descendants of African and indigenous peoples, where men simply don't argue with women. Not because they're scared, but because tradition demands deep respect. Here, women are more than caregivers. They are landowners, leaders, spiritual guardians, and decision-makers. In towns like Guerrilla, women decide everything from school choices to whether the family sells land or invites relatives for dinner. And when it comes to sacred ceremonies like Dugu, the ancestral healing ritual, interrupting a female elder can get a man expelled from the circle and spiritually shunned. This matriarchal respect is passed down like a cultural code. Tourists have described it as walking into a parallel world where the rules are written by women and men follow them not with reluctance but with reverence. So if you ever visit and see a Garifuna husband calmly nodding as his wife scolds him at the market, don't mistake it for weakness. He's not afraid. He's honoring generations of strength. Number 9. The bridge that leads nowhere. In southern Honduras, near the city of Choluteca, stands a bridge with no purpose. No cars, no river beneath, just a perfectly engineered structure rising over dry land. This is the Choluteca Bridge, once a symbol of progress and national pride. Designed by Japanese engineers in 1998 to withstand the region's worst storms, it opened just months before Hurricane Mitch, one of the deadliest storms in Central American history. Mitch brought over 75 inches of rain in 4 days, wiping out roads, villages, and lives. But the bridge? It survived intact. There was just one problem. The river moved. The raging floods shifted the Choluteca River's course, carving out a new path far away from the bridge. So while the structure still stands tall and strong, it no longer serves a single purpose. It became a symbol of irony, resilience, and irrelevance. Today, it's studied in engineering and business schools as a cautionary tale. Don't build something so sturdy it can't adapt. Because in a world that changes fast, survival isn't about strength. It's about flexibility. Number 8. Don't go barefoot in a Honduran home. If you're someone who loves the freedom of walking barefoot, whether it's to relax, feel grounded, or just cool off, think twice before doing it in Honduras. In both cities and rural villages, walking into someone's home barefoot isn't just unusual, it's downright disrespectful. Unlike in some cultures where removing your shoes is seen as a gesture of cleanliness, in Honduras, especially in traditional communities, bare feet are linked to poverty, laziness, or even bad manners. In many homes, the sight of someone's bare feet is enough to signal, "I don't respect your house." Some families go as far as putting a sign near the front door. Por favor, no entre descalzo. Please don't enter barefoot. Ironically, Honduras has a tropical, humid climate that practically begs for sandals or going shoeless. But culturally, cleanliness and respect start from your feet up, not your words. So when visiting, wear flip-flops if you must, but keep your soles covered. In Honduras, bare feet say more about you than you think. Number 7, the only Central American country with 5 ecological zones. For a country that's smaller than the state of Pennsylvania, Honduras packs in more natural diversity than you'd believe. It's the only country in Central America with 5 distinct ecological zones, an outdoor wonderland where you can go from misty cloud forests to swamps, highlands, beaches, and tropical jungle, all in the span of a single road trip. Start your morning hiking through the fog-draped peaks of Salaque, Honduras's highest mountain. By midday, you're cruising through limestone valleys, and by afternoon, you're paddling through the mangrove swamps of La Mosquitia, a region so wild it's nicknamed the Mini Amazon. You'll find over 700 bird species, glowing frogs, rare orchids, and even plants found nowhere else on Earth. In Cusuco National Park, frogs glow under UV light like something out of science fiction. And in the East, entire communities still live in the forest, speaking native languages, untouched by modern life. Number 6. Honduras will leave you lost like hide and seek. You've packed everything: passport, sunscreen, bug spray, translation app. But once you land in Honduras, there's one thing that could still wreck your day. Addresses here are a mystery. In many cities across Honduras, there are no formal house numbers or street names. That's right, no 123 Elm Street or apartment 45B. Instead, addresses go like this: between the yellow pharmacy and the tire shop, 2 blocks from the mango tree. And if you're lucky, those landmarks still exist. Try ordering a ride or directing a taxi with that. GPS? Not always reliable. Google Maps will often give you strange codes like 3RW5 or QMQ4, which locals might understand, but to a foreigner, it's like trying to read a treasure map. In places like Tegucigalpa or San Pedro Sula, even locals admit it's frustrating. Tourists can end up wandering the wrong street with their bags, passport, and no clue which way to go. So here's what experienced travelers do. Save your exact GPS coordinates. Vic, take a photo of the building. V, ask the neighbors. And always double confirm with your host. Because in Honduras, finding your way is half the adventure and all the stress if you're not prepared. Number 5, don't touch, step on, or break coral at the Roatan Reef. A vacation on Roatan Island sounds like paradise. Crystal clear waters, vibrant coral gardens, and sunlight dancing on the waves. But step on the wrong thing, and paradise could cost you $3,000. That's the fine for damaging even a single piece of coral in Honduras. Roatan sits at the edge of the Mesoamerican Reef, the second largest coral reef in the world. stretching over 700 miles across Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. It's a living masterpiece, home to more than 500 species of fish, 65 types of coral, sea turtles, stingrays, and even whale sharks. And here's why it matters. A single coral branch grows just 0.1 to 2 inches per year. So that vibrant reef you're admiring, it likely took centuries to form, delicate, ancient, and irreplaceable. That's why Honduran law is crystal clear. No touching, no standing, no swimming too close, and absolutely no collecting shells or live coral. Even accidental damage can lead to a steep fine, and in some cases, you might even be deported. Number 3. The strange bagged water culture. Picture this. You're walking through a Honduran street market under the blazing sun. You're thirsty. You ask for water, and instead of a bottle, you're handed a small plastic bag. Welcome to Bolsa water culture, a unique and ultra-common way to hydrate in Honduras. Locals call them bulitas, and they usually hold around 13 to 20 ounces of water, sealed at both ends like a sausage. No cap, no straw. Just bite a corner off and sip it like a juice pouch. It might seem strange, but it's actually practical and incredibly cheap. Just 3 to 5 lempiras. That's under 20 cents. Why water in bags? Because in many parts of Honduras, tap water isn't safe to drink. Bolitas offer a fast, filtered, and affordable solution, especially for workers, school kids, and people on the move. Many of them are UV treated or purified, and for those who can afford it, homes and offices use large 5-gallon jugs, just like in the US. But there's a downside. All those little plastic bags, they're not biodegradable. Environmental groups are urging a shift to eco-friendly materials, or better yet, reusable bottles. Number 2, Hunguhungu, the dance men can't join. On the Caribbean coast of Honduras, where the Garifuna people keep centuries-old traditions alive, there's a sacred dance shrouded in mystery, Hunguhungu. And if you're a man, don't even think about joining. Hunguhungu is not a tourist attraction. It's a ritual, part of the deeply spiritual Dugu ceremony, where Garifuna women call upon ancestors, ask for guidance, and make peace with the spirit world. Picture this. The air thick with incense. Drums beating in deep, steady rhythms. Mothers, grandmothers, and aunts moving in hypnotic sways, their hips gently rocking in perfect sync. It's not flashy, but it's powerful. The women's bodies become channels between the living and the dead. Men may be present, they can help with instruments, prepare the space, but they are never allowed to dance Hunguhungu. Why? Because in Garifuna belief, only women who carry the ancestral bloodline, who give life, have the spiritual right to summon spirits. It's a matriarchal force so deeply embedded in tradition that even today, it remains untouched. Number 1. Don't badmouth Honduran soccer. This one might seem small, but in Honduras, it's huge. Never insult the national soccer team. We're serious. Soccer here is more than a sport. It's national identity, pride, and emotion rolled into 90 minutes. Say the wrong thing in a packed bar, like Honduras can't beat Mexico, and you might find yourself in the middle of a full-blown argument, or worse. A survey by La Prensa found that over 70% of Hondurans said soccer connects them to their country more than religion or politics. During World Cup qualifiers, cities shut down, schools allow kids to wear jerseys, and entire neighborhoods erupt when the national team scores. Flags fly from cars. People cry. Victories become national holidays. Losses feel like funerals. So if you're a visitor, cheer with them, respect the passion, and keep the jokes to yourself, especially if you're talking to a diehard fan in a local cafe. In Honduras, you can mess with a lot of things. Soccer isn't one of them.